Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sports with Monga. And we're back with another transfer update video. A lot of news. All these players on my sides are almost in transfer talks. Some news coming through from all over the world. Almost all our clubs and almost everybody wants to go to Manchester United suddenly. Manchester United, the club to be. They're just in the news for every player right now, from Mazraoui, from De Ligt, from discussions with multiple players. And it's interesting to see, like, we are still talking to Sofian Amrabat, we're still talking to Rabiot, we're still discussing the midfield deals, we're discussing across Braithwaite and so on and so forth. There's like everybody wants to go to Manchester United, it feels like, and that's an interesting problem to have. But some heavy goes already done. And before we get into it, guys, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for supporting the channel. Sports with Monga is it's a fan content channel, basically, where I'm trying to give my perspective of how I see the game, how I see transfers moving, where do I see things to kind of head across. So if you're interested, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to update for more videos. If you've not checked out my Formula One Hungarian Grand Prix race reaction, get into that. Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, what shambolic stuff happening with the McLaren Grand Prix, even finishing 1-2. I don't know, the strategy needs to be better, but let's get into it. And if you want to get into that content, enjoy that. There's still more videos coming through. And let's get into this, the transfer update video basically, for so many players. And let's start with the one that with the deals are done. It's basically Pierre Emile Højbjerg is on his way to Olympique Marseille for 20 million. The deal is done, and he has landed 20 million euros. Deal done from Tottenham Hotspurs. Marseille have agreed a deal to sign Tottenham midfielder Pierre Emile Højbjerg in a deal that could be worth 20 million. It's here we go. Deal done. He's on his way. He's going to join De Zerbi, the Brighton manager, who's the new Olympique Marseille manager. Olympique Marseille has been signing up quite some interesting players. Roberto De Zerbi, the Italian, swooping up Mason Greenwood for 32 million from Manchester United. Leon Brazier for 12 million. Pierre Emile Højbjerg for 20 million. And Eddie Nketiah possibly on his way. There's a lot of deals coming from Olympique Marseille, but this is a deal done. It's a here we go. Of course, there's been a lot of midfielder movement. Aston Villa's Douglas Luiz has already gone to Juventus. Talks about, and that's interesting. Like, people are trying to get Tottenham want to replace Højbjerg with somebody. They started discussing for changes for maybe Conor Gallagher, but anything can happen right now in the transfer window. Everything's up, but then moving from one, here we go to the second one. It is Amadou Onana from Everton to Aston Villa. It's official, confirmed from Fabrizio. It's a here we go. This guy, an amazing talent. He moves to Aston Villa. Aston Villa have signed Amadou Onana as a new midfielder from Everton. Deal signed for £50 million fee plus add-ons and sell-on clause, while Onana has signed a long-term contract. And that's interesting because we have to understand that Aston Villa lost a couple of players. They lost Douglas Luiz, who has gone to Juventus for a similar fee. The proposal, Amadou Onana to Aston Villa, deal done, £50 million, free and sell-on clause, and also included formal proposal accepted. This is the guys. This is the here we go. It's done. This is the movement. This is what we want. The transfer window is exciting, guys. It just kind of gets hot and hot. This is beautiful. Done. Formal proposal accepted. 5-year deal for Onana at Aston Villa until June 2029. He has already signed, and it is done. And now let's get into things that are almost on its way to be done. From Arsenal, Riccardo Calafiori. That is the man on the top. From Bologna. Bologna doing all of deals. From Xerxes, for Manchester United, but then they're sending another player to the Premier League, and it is Riccardo Calafiori to Arsenal. It's almost done. It's almost done, guys. It's almost on its way. A lot of news. Riccardo Calafiori to Arsenal. So here we go. Deal completed between all parties as Calafiori has given his final green light. It's a here we go. Bologna to receive 45 million euros, fixed fees plus add-on of 5 million package. Calafiori will sign a 4-year deal. And he's on his way. It's medicals booked. He's on his way to London. Arsenal, Gunners, your first player is on its way. And this is interesting. What is important to know, it was pretty clear that Real Madrid and Juventus both were trying to get the steps done. There were still some discussions happening between FC Basel and Bologna, who had to kind of discuss on the sell-on payment terms, and that has basically got everything done. It's a job done up. People feel what a moment this is going to be. Riccardo Calafiori, the tactics have worked pretty well. Mikel Arteta, he is on fire. He gets the first one. And it's interesting, the centre-back, Williams, look at the defensive lineup. The defense just is like strong goal for Arsenal, but they're gunning for glory. I don't think they're going to concede any goals because William Saliba has been amazing. Gabriel has been great. Riccardo Calafiori joins, and Ben White, basically towering players in the back, at the back. They've done a great job. The signing for the future, and he has done it. Arteta and Edu do the job again. It's a here we go on Riccardo Calafiori to Arsenal. Now let's get into the news of, first of all, the big one, the big name, Mr. Victor Osimhen. There's a lot of discussion and questions regarding that. People have been saying that he has a deal from PSG agreed, Victor Osimhen, but PSG are not interested to pay the release clause of 120 million euros for Osimhen. There are been negotiations. PSG has asked because they knew when Mbappe left, they needed a new striker. That's what their target was. That's Osimhen is their target, but they're not going to play. They're not going to pay stupid money to get him into the team. Negotiations between PSG and Napoli for Osimhen not advancing after recent talks. PSG rejected to include Kang-in Lee in the deal and will not trigger release clause as Napoli wanted. Deal not happening under these conditions. PSG is also happy with Ramos and Kolo Muani. That kind of, so there's a lot of talk around Napoli, around Osimhen. He got a new deal. He's had a new 1-year contract or a couple of years contract, added a new release clause. Nobody's going to pay that release clause. Everybody thought that Chelsea is going to go for him. It's still early in the transfer window. Anything can happen. But for now, the deal is off for now. Let's get into Manchester United and players that are being offered all around. It has been touted that Jadon Sancho has been, or PSG admires Jadon Sancho. Basically, that's been the talk here, that Jadon Sancho has been linked for a move to PSG. Sancho has been discussed in the close quarters of PSG as a potential move, but that is not possibly going to happen. Sancho, and we have to get an understanding that when Sancho came from Borussia Dortmund to back to Manchester United, there was a clear sign that he was basically told to fuck off. He was told to leave from Manchester United, but he came back, and then there was some negotiations between, and he apparently said sorry to Erik ten Hag, and then the hatchet was buried. But is this what it was? A hatchet ever buried? Will he ever play for Manchester United, and will he ever play for Erik ten Hag? I don't think so. I think this is just to get him on the game, on the training pitch so that everybody can see that, okay, he's playing the first team and stuff and so on. He's playing the friendlies, he's going to the tour. It is almost, I think, a way to get a deal for him so that he can be sold off. Manchester United are discussing a lot of players right now with PSG. We're talking Ugarte, we're talking De Ligt, we're talking many players, and there could be a world where Sancho is going to PSG. But again, if he goes to PSG, does he get the game time? Because in Manchester, I don't think he's getting the game time, because you have to understand who's there, right? He is number 4. Jadon Sancho right now is number 4. After Xerxes has come in, we have Garnacho, we have Rashford, Amad Diallo is firing, Antony is there. So Sancho is not going to be the most preferred. So I think he needs to leave. He needs to get a move on there. And there has been discussions that, you know, possibly this is going to happen. But again, a lot of talk right now with PSG and Manchester United. So there are deals up in the air. They're discussing and negotiations can happen. One more player that's been in talk, but I hope that is not the truth. Bruno Fernandes has been touted as somebody extremely well respected by Luis Enrique, and they would love to have Mr. Bruno Fernandes in PSG. Understand that Paris Saint-Germain are currently not, but then the deal was they're not working on Bruno Fernandes deal. PSG's full focus is on Joao Neves. If Bruno stays at Manchester United this summer, new contract talks could also begin. So Manchester United are waiting to see what Bruno Fernandes does, because they want to say, like, okay, we're not just going to give you a Cristiano Ronaldo-like contract. Of course, you're like Portuguese, you are the main player for us, you've done everything, but then we want you to show your loyalty as well. You have to stick with us here. Ineos is on a new upward trajectory. You can see already, we are already done, like Lenny Joro is in, we have Joshua Zirkzee already in, we're going for De Ligt, we're going for the players who matter. And you have to understand, Manchester United is not even playing the Champions League, guys. They are still interested in Manchester United. That tells you the pool of this club and where we start with Ineos. Of course, there's a lot of talk. There need to be outgoings, and there will be a lot of outgoings as well. But for now, I think Bruno Fernandes, in my mind, stays at Manchester United. No way he is leaving now. More to talk into. Of course, there's been talks with Mazraoui, as I said. De Ligt, it seems that we had a deal. We had Manchester United put a deal for Matthijs de Ligt, and that has got rejected. It was a 35 million deal. And I am very sure, Manchester United paid 50 for Lenjoro, a 21-year-old, 24-year-old Ajax player, ex-Ajax, Bayern Munich player. And you're lowballing him with 35 million plus add-ons. Oh my God, Manchester United and Dan Ashford. Oh, but he has the balls to do this, man. I love it. I love it. This is how you do it on the transfer window. You basically say, okay, you want us to, you want to sell? Okay, we're buying. But then we're not buying for crazy price. So tell me what price you want to sell him for. Exactly, right? So they've not kind of done anything crazy. They're basically moving the best way forward. They're saying there's a lot to kind of still do. There's still a deal to be done. It's not like the deal is not to be done. There's still a deal to be done. There is still discussions between and I'm sure Bayern will try to do it. Like there is discussions with Mazraoui. You know, suddenly there are talks that Mazraoui might be interested. So you know, you don't really know what's really happening till you actually see the deal. But for De Ligt, the focus has been clear. Manchester United wanted it, and they're moving big. They're moving big for De Ligt, and that's interesting. I like the fact that we are mentioning De Ligt so early, and he has agreed. It is now between the clubs to basically say what is going to happen here. Manchester United on De Ligt has been very clear. They want the player. He's ready to join, but then there's negotiations happening right now. that is very interesting to me as well. Like, I feel that at a point, Bayern will have to cave, because if Bayern Munich, because it's also Vincent company, they have a good amount, and it's not like any of these players were not in Manchester United's list early. They just couldn't sign when Ajax was broken, basically, when Ajax's players left. We got the manager, De Ligt left, players left, but then we couldn't get the players that we wanted eventually. And that's on us. That's not on anybody. That we are just late to the party here. We're just trying to figure stuff out now, and we're trying to get our act together to basically move this in our direction. So Matthijs de Ligt is still a discussion. There has been a bid rejected by Bayern for Matthijs de Ligt, and it's interesting. Like, I feel it's a very interesting interesting movement. Bayern's Uli Hoeneß on Matthijs de Ligt. He said it's possible that a defender will leave. De Ligt is Dutch. The coach at Manchester United is Dutch. I would have no problem if he stays. Personally, I would not sell Upamecano. So this is pretty clear signs as well. He is basically telling him that I don't care if you leave. Those statements don't help. I guess this is advantage Manchester United. But will they accept an offer below 50 million euros? That's the big question. And that possibly could happen. And that's what I feel. Even Mazraoui is not actually, they're just lowballing. They're just trying to confiscate and kind of give them options. Like, okay, you can get for 25, add 25 to it, and you get Mazraoui. And then basically we can get the right back and a left back, because Mazraoui can play right and left. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is definitely outgoing in my mind. We have left Kambawala. Kambawala is gone. Luke Shaw says, I think Johnny Evans is going to help in the play. We need more backing there. We've seen in the previous seasons where we were playing, like Casemiro was playing centre back, guys. Oh my fucking God. Varane is out. Maguire, I think, will be heading out as well. It's going to be interesting to see how this kind of cleanup works. Before we end, and if you enjoyed this till now, guys, loads of updates coming through. Get in the comment section below. Let me know, what do you think about these? Where do you think actually, who will Manchester United actually sign? Mazraoui, Ugarte, De Ligt, or everybody that I'm mentioning, everybody? What will happen? Let me know in the comment section below. But the last person that I want to talk about is Mr. Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne has been, there has been a story running, and I'm sure some of people have already run that story because they just run on news, or they just be like, okay, is this happening? Al Ittihad will negotiate with Manchester City again for Ederson this week. So it's very clear that they have signed Moussa Diaby for 50 million. It's a 20 million net per year deal. Big money on wages, no doubt in that. Al Ittihad will negotiate with Manchester City again for Ederson this week, asking prices around 50 million euro, while Brazilian goalkeeper has already accepted the move. Kevin De Bruyne is currently not even part of the talks. Story about personal terms agreed with Etihad are not true. Very important point there, guys. Kevin De Bruyne has nothing. There is no discussion happening right now with Al Ittihad. Let's be very clear. He is staying in Manchester City for now. But of course, anything can happen, and anybody will just love to have Kevin De Bruyne. And this is what keeps happening. Al Ittihad is still kind of reviewing. They've done the Moussa Diaby deal, and there's still a big gap in valuation as of today between Al Ittihad and Manchester City for Ederson. City insists on 50 to 60 million euro package. Saudi club will not close to that fee as things stand. All stories on Kevin De Bruyne and Al Ittihad are described as fake. No talks between Kevin De Bruyne and Al Ittihad. This is fake news, guys. Come on, bring it up. This is happening with this. Ederson it seems possible. And if Ederson leaves, they have a pretty good number two. Don't you think? Like if Ederson leaves to El Ittihad, they have a pretty good, solid goalkeeper in Ortega. There is no, I don't think there has to be an issue there. But of course, there's been talks about Donnarumma possibly joining. Petrovic might be joining as well. But all of those rumors will run its end. I think at the end of this video. But before I want to leave, before you guys leave, I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you will subscribe to the channel for more updates as well. Just on a final thought, there are some players, as the US tour for a lot of Premier League clubs start, this is interesting. Petrovic was not part of Chelsea's squad for the US preseason tour due to a small injury. He's expected to travel this week, but he's ready. It's going to be interesting. He's actually going or not, because we have heard about players like Pierre Gill from Tottenham and Trevor Chalobah, Alfie Gilchrist, Baron Gale, and Sergio Reguilon are not going on tour right now for their respective clubs. Yusuf Fofana has agreed personal term with AC Milan. The player has accepted the proposal. He wants to join Milan. Negotiations ongoing with AS Monaco. Monaco have rejected a 30 million euro proposal from Nottingham Forest as talks with AC Milan follow. There was also rumors that Manchester United was trying to take over the deal and almost could have happened, but then, you know, AC Milan will be like, what the hell, guys? Just let us leave and let us live. That's it. That's a wrap, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Transfer update for today done. I hope you liked it. Let me know what was your favorite transfer. Sancho to PSG, possibly. Mazraoui, De Ligt, Ugarte, all coming to Manchester United will be a dreamland. The best possible midfield. Scott McTominay, Manchester United, or Erik ten Hag wants McTominay to say, I think it's again a ploy to say that he's important and then he could get a better value. Fulham's deal was rejected. Lots of talking points still, but do stay tuned for the next video. There's more an update coming through. Thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon for more videos. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Peace.